Well, after a bye week, the Minnesota Vikings are back this Sunday with a game against the Detroit Lions. And joining us now is our Vikings insider, Cody Benjamin. Hey, good morning, Cody.
Good morning. It's there was no Vikings loss, so they're still undefeated,
Right.
and it's good to be back talking with you.
It is so good to be back talking with you as well. Yeah, the Lions, the Packers, the Bears. Oh my, wow. They all had a great game Sunday. So I want to ask you, how has the NFC North changed since the Vikings last took the field?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the teams are the same, but I think that the Vikings 5-0 record, it looks a little different. I mean, the Vikings, we talked about it every week to start the season that they have exceeded expectations, but I do think that the fact that the rest of the division has been so strong, with the Vikings not playing this past week, we got a full view of kind of the Jordan Love experience with the Packers, kind of dominating the Cardinals. Caleb Williams kind of finally coming to life for Chicago. And then Jared Goff and the Lions looking like, the team that advanced to the NFC Championship last year. And so all of a sudden, if you're a Vikings fan, you're still comfortable. Obviously, 5-0, you couldn't be in a better spot, but I think there is some added pressure to keep up that pace because you've got three other teams kind of knocking at the door in the NFC North. I mean, everyone's talking about now who's going to be left out of the playoffs in this division because it is tight, and the Vikings, I don't think, can afford a couple of slip ups because you've got teams, and I think the Packers and Lions are both for real, and so both worth worrying about as the season goes on.
And we know that Aaron Jones had an injury, so we're checking in on him. What do we expect from Aaron Jones when he expected to be back against the Lions this Sunday?
Well, he was back on the practice field to start the week, which is a good sign. I think this is something still that you're going to have to monitor up until game time. I mean, I would expect him to draw at least a questionable tag on the injury report going into this Lions game because, Kevin O'Connell had ruled him kind of a week to week case, which typically you're going to see them call day to day if they have a real chance of suiting up for that next game. Week to week, obviously he had the full week of during the bye to rest up, but exited that last game in London. I think it's a coin flip whether he plays against the Lions, and that would put a lot of pressure on Ty Chandler to step up as the lead back. Sam Darnold, we saw after Aaron Jones left the last game, his accuracy was a little all over the place against the Jets. Now that's a good defense, but the Vikings have really leaned on Aaron Jones's electricity this year. So I would say, it is a coin flip whether he'll be available, but his practice availability throughout the week will tell us whether he's going to be able to go.
Okay, well, I mean, what else? What are the keys that you believe the Vikings need to have to beat Detroit and stay atop the North?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it would help if Aaron Jones is available. That takes some of the pressure off Sam Darnold. I still think that the passing attack should get back on track. I mean, the Jets have one of the best pass defenses in the league. They saw them in London. When you're going to play Detroit, that's a different story there. Obviously, the Lions, they beat up on the Cowboys this past weekend, but throughout the season, they've been vulnerable against the pass. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, on the chance you get TJ Hawkinson back, no matter who's out there, I think Sam Darnold's going to be able to push the ball down the field. So I think the keys to this game really lie on Brian Flores and his defense. They've stood up all year. They've confused opposing quarterbacks. Jared Goff's a guy who you get him under pressure, he's going to make mistakes. This year, though, when well protected, I mean, he's been MVP caliber, and it helps that he's got maybe the most favorable setup in the NFL. I mean, you look at his whole lineup. I mean, the offensive line is sturdy. He's got David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield, Jamison Williams out wide. The weapons are elite for Detroit. And so I think it's going to come down to, can Brian Flores' defense force a takeaway or two?
All right, Cody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next Monday at 10:30 to hopefully talk about another Vikings win, but we'll just have to wait to see on Sunday.
All right. Thanks so much, Maria. Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Thanks.